The Aral Sea was once the fourth largest lake in the world. Once a huge expanse of water turned into an arid desert, and only the rusty skeletons of ships remind us that once there was life. Now the picture is more like footage from a disaster film. So what was the Aral Sea like before? What was the cause of its death? Let's look at these questions in this video. The Aral Sea was formed 25,000 years ago, which was fed by the Amu Darya and Sir Darya rivers. The area occupied by the lake was about 68,000 square kilometers. Its length was 426 kilometers, width 284 kilometers, the greatest depth 68 meters. The sea was inhabited by many animals and a huge number of fish. The Aral Sea fed a large number of people living in its coastal zone. Fish catches reached up to 60,000 tons in 1980. Two large ports were located on the reservoir, Mainak and Aralsk. There were also resorts, and the largest of them Kazakh Darya. The sea level did not change in the flesh until 1960. The main cause of death of the reservoir was human economic activity. Back in the 1930s, the mass construction of irrigation canals for the needs of the countries of Central Asia began. Water intake was decided to be carried out from the Sir Darya and Amu Darya rivers. At that time, there were no technologies for efficient water delivery. Often the canals were not concreted and were open. As a result, a large proportion of water evaporates and is absorbed into the ground. Over time, the need for water increased, but the percentage of water losses also increased. No one thought about improving the irrigation system. Since 1961, the sea level began to fall at an increasing rate of 20 to 80-90 centimeters per year. In 1989, the sea broke up into two isolated bodies of water, the North Small Sea and the South Large Sea. And by 2017, the southern Aral practically dried up, leaving behind the Arakan Desert. The consequences were monstrous. Almost all the flora and fauna died with the sea. The ports ceased to exist. Tens of thousands of people were left without jobs. The once humid coastal climate was replaced by a harsh arid. Dust storms regularly occur on the dry bottom, which spread salts, poisons and pesticides up to such cities as Kizilorda, Baikonur, Shakar, Nukus, which negatively affects the health of people and animals, causing respiratory diseases. Huge concerns are caused by the island of Revival, which was formerly a testing ground for bacteriological weapons. The fact that this island is no longer surrounded by water, and dangerous microorganisms that have remained viable can get into the environment. The tragedy of Aral is a living testimony to the miscalculation in the use of resources and should be a lesson for all mankind.